Yet in a chilly Pyeongchang, southward Korea, Frimpong will achieve speeds of 90 mph as his nation's at first bone sportsman in the story of the Winter Spartakiada. The 31-year-old's wonderful travel has undertaken him of a solitary 5x4 gauge chamber in Kumasi, Ghana's other largest densely populated town, to a ball-trotting lifetime of journey and affair as an world athlete. He's been a travel pregnant in setbacks. On the path, Frimpong has been a 200 meter sprinting, a bobsleigh conductor, a undergraduate and an businessman, but ever a visionary who refuses to take destruction. Frimpong's open secret elderly aunt, Frimpong accompanied his mom to the Netherlands in chase of a superior next, withdrawing books of the regional public library to find out Holland. Adaptive to his new environment proven really hard. I had never seen a white man in my lifetime, and I was not in my regular convenience area in friends and household in Ghana, he says. He found a ability for sprint at top high school in the summer of 2001 and was rapidly undertaken by the fender of couple-time Surinamese athlete rotated athletic trainer, Sammy Monsels. He thrived, and 2 years after became the Holland Younger 200 meter defend. During 18 months, not just was I the top in my town, but I was the top in my nation and won my at first coin, says Frimpong. Of later on, I knew whatever is probable, as long as you trust in oneself and you wish it bad quite. But Frimpong was concealment a open secret, he had introduced the nation unlawfully. Competitive at international level was just not sustainable. He said his coaches how he had lose his certificate or, unwillingly, Frimpong rotated downward giving to drag on the fabled orange waistcoat of Holland. To creature the fastest boy in the Netherlands I was frantic and sorrowful, says Frimpong. I cried each day. I felt love I was residing in an in-isolation prison. A big portion of my youthful was undertaken off. His fortunes modified while he begun student social relations, sale and communication at Amsterdam's Johan Cruyff School in 2004. Cruyff, one of soccer's largest advanced thinkers, would trip the school of period to period, give her pep negotiations and inspirational the students. Frimpong grasped the prospect in both of hands, making the World Undergraduate of the Year confer for his career both of on the path and in the class. I was imaginary to get the confer of Cruyff in Barcelona and he found out I couldn't be down there since of my illicit statute, remembers Frimpong, who graded in 2007. Instead of, Cruyff traversed to Amsterdam to offer him the confer. The motion gave Frimpong huge personality faith. He fought for me in the print to speak my history, he saw me as a man and not fair a quantity love the Holland migration officials did, says Frimpong. Close misses following eventually creature given a Holland certificate in 2008, Frimpong concentration on his learning, proper one of the top sprinters in the Netherlands. The London 2012 Spartakiada beckoned, an incomprehensible vision for the boy who had one day been exhilarated in a complete bottling of Coca Bush Cola for Yuletide, but a sinew trauma plundered him of his vision and he didn't do the definitive crew. Which could include been the end of the way was fair the start. Refusal to offer up, Frimpong sold the athletic path for the ice, proper a conductor on the Holland domestic bobsleigh crew by the guardianship of ex-Planet Defend Nicola Minichiello. His sprint valor serviced him so, but one day once again he bring down fair brief, just manufacturing it as a backup for the Sochi Winter Games in 2014. I was downward for nearly 2 years, Frimpong admits. I had put so lot cash, period, and victim in kind of sports, I solved to offer up an attention on my career and use my extent yet thing was itchy. I felt down there was an incomplete industry and how was to do it to the Olympic Games. Outgoing a heritage it was period to go it one and reopen his African cradle. In his woman Erica joke she didn't wish him wine on his Olympic ambition elderly 99, Frimpong set up the Bobsled and Bone Federation of Ghana in 2016 to offer thing behind to his nation of childbirth and problem the unidentified. In lifetime, occasionally our disappointments conduct us to wherever we requirement to constitute, he says. If I'd done it to the Spartakiada in path and box or bobsleigh, it would been a private accomplishment. In bone, I'm written story for my nation and help guys pursue their wildest ambition. The way I'm outgoing a heritage over thing how will survive me, far more than essential rather than fair a private purpose. The travel is greater rather than me. Box in ice and specific, Frimpong, object of Holland document, same bunny theoretical, is the at first to recognize how horrifying slide downward a tight ice trough can be. I include to shove, plunge on the sledge and swim a me of ice path at 80 to 90 mph in my jaw 3 inches of the ice pack, he explains. It can as well be fatal. Georgian sledge rival Nadar Kumaritashvili was annihilated for a learning run collapse at the 2010 Games in Vancouver. Exactly navigation the at first few corners is significant. Onto Frimpong, the gram forces are compared to the way of 5 friends lie on top of thou, time manufacturing the slightest error feels love, box in ice and specific. Slide is a beat, the Ghanaian says, and one day you discover how beat keys love dancing in the stars. It conducted 4 persons to 6 year to be competition and his nature accelerate can just assist him so lot. But as he puts it, if departure to the Spartakiada was lightweight, all would be making he. Frimpong necessary do it in the top 60 of the kind of sports' formal planet rankings, completion 5 races on 3 tracks about the planet, in procedure to classify for Pyeongchang. Fair to foundation how attempt he has sold out his car and flogged vacuo cleaners doorway to doorway close his learning basis in Utah. It has all been cost it. Following a episode of private best amateur performance in St. Moritz and Pondcom in the new year, Frimpong's location at the Pyeongchang 2018 Winter Spartakiada was done formal on January 15, fair 2 year following he begun race. At times love the speech of his grandma meeting in house solitary chamber in Kumasi go racing behind to him. She ever told, Akwasi, which you requirement for successful is already in thou, he's a question of religious in oneself and never giver upwards, Frimpong remembers. I expect I can justify guys in Ghana to pursue their ambition.